Yikes. You guys want to oh baby for that?
Oh, Yankees?
Oh, yikes. Yankees, by the way. Oh, man. Yankees are rolling right now. Aaron Judge, another walk-off. 53-20. Oh, that's how we're starting off Monday morning. This is how we're starting off Monday morning, folks, here in the Morning Roast. And it's good to be back. Shout out to nice guy Steven, filling in on Friday. Shasky's here. Lutman's here. So we walk in on a Monday, coming off a great weekend. Great weekend with the family. Come to the studio. It's about 83 degrees. 83 degrees inside the studio. Great.
But
awesome.
It feels like it's 98.
It feels very, very
humid,
you're
like
very,
hot
very
box.
hot. Yeah, we're hot box. No windows, no ventilation, no nothing. One of the computers where I get all my sound and all my clips. Somebody logged out of it.
Oh.
So now it's nothing. We don't have a password. So now Lutman is efforting get me into the soundboard. We've got nothing going on right. I mean, and the Giants.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
Or not quite, but it's close.
Our pets' heads are falling off.
There
And
it
the
is.
Giants go 2-5 last week. 2-5. They go 1-4 after Mr. Mark Willard and I get into it during crosstalk. But the Giants being 9 games over 500. What else do you want, Bonta? Well, now they're 6 games over 500, and they don't look like a good team. They don't look like a championship contender, which was my whole point last week. We also got a lot of Warrior stuff, a lot of sound. What's up, Shasky? What's going on? It feels weird in here, man. Feels like I'm talking to myself.
I mean, look, the Giants are in a bad spot right now in terms of where they're at for this particular season. And I understand some of the frustration. You guys sent an article last night from Andrew Baggerly, who's been covering this team, 15 years?
Long time.
Yeah, I don't want to undersell him. So, however long, he's been following this team for a long, long time. Few and far between has any beat writer, let alone Andrew, decided to kind of just question where this thing's going, in terms of the Giants and their organizational philosophy. And as we celebrate the Golden State Warriors, I look down south at the LA Dodgers, and I'm thinking about why I so appreciate the way that the Warriors run their business, being able to spend the amount of money they spent on their roster, still maintain all their draft picks, still find a way to kind of, keep the youth movement going while still paying for high-priced stars, right? They've blended the two. That's what the Warriors have done, and they've been in championship contention. Now, they've won way more at the highest level than what the Dodgers have, but I respect what the Dodgers have done. They got the highest payroll in baseball. They're paying a huge luxury tax, and you look up, and again, for the last 6-7 years, they've had a top 10 farm system in baseball. Right now, they were ranked number 1 by most accounts. Some people have them in the top 5. They're somewhere in the top 4, and they got the highest payroll in the game. The Giants are about 110 to 120 million off in terms of their payroll from the Dodgers. They're closer to the Orioles, who are the least spending team in baseball. The Giants are closer to the Orioles in terms of spending than where they are, far off from where the Dodgers are. So I just look at the Giants and I'm like, look, if you want to operate like a big boy in a big boy market, well, then let's get this thing going. Let's go.
Well, how do you get it going?
Let's go.
My question is, the one I want to have, and we're going to talk a lot of Golden State Warriors basketball, free agency. Draymond Green said something, and I want to know, can the champs be dethroned next season? We got draft picks galore. I know you guys didn't talk much about the draft on Friday. We'll definitely like to get into that because I like the picks that Bob Myers made over the weekend. Mike Dunleavy Jr. was there, of course, Friday when the rookies got introduced to the Bay Area for the first time. PBJ, Patrick Baldwin Jr., is your first-round pick this year, number 28 overall. But I'm thinking about the Giants, and of course we got some Draymond Green podcast stuff. Kendrick Perkins and Draymond going at it again. What else is new? But I'm looking at the Giants, right? And kind of just off that jubilation we had just last Monday at the parade down Market Street, watching the Golden State Warriors and all their stars, and you hear Draymond Green say, man, that parade was better than all the ones in Oakland. Something about San Francisco, they just put on the show. It was awesome. And then I lock in on the Giants and pay all my attention to them now that basketball's done. I just don't know where it's going. I don't know what the plan is.
That's a great point.
The Warriors had a plan. Mm-hmm. Their plan was to develop young talent while trying to win at the same time, which seemed impossible, but they got it done. Well, and the 49ers, real quick, Shasky, they had a plan. Even though we didn't like the plan, and sitting Trey Lance all season long behind Jimmy Garoppolo, they stuck to their plan to groom Trey Lance and let him sit and watch for a year. And then hey, we could still try to win with Jimmy Garoppolo. If it doesn't work out at the end of the year, we'll give the keys to Trey Lance. I watch the Giants, and I'm watching all their moves, and, even Carlos Rodal with the 2-year contract, but he has an opt-out after year number 1. They're almost operating like a Moneyball team, and I just don't know what the plan is for the Giants. What is the plan?
Well, we can agree the Warriors in their cycle, right, their life cycle, because teams go through life cycles, they're at a different spot than where this current Giants team is, right? We all agree there, right?
Yep.
They're in a weird holding pattern because the Giants are. Because Bonta, I'm looking at their top prospects here. I printed it out because I went through it with a fine-tooth comb last night of their top 15 prospects. Okay, and prospects aren't everything, but it's just we've been hearing prospects. We're waiting for them. 11, 12 of them are set to come up either this year or next year. So as bleak as it feels right now on the big league team, their counter argument, and I kind of see where they're coming from, would be, hey, we've got about 11 guys that are set to come up in the next year and a half to help really infuse where we're at. Let me take you back to 2018. 2018, do you know who the number 1 farm system was in baseball?
It was not the Giants.
It was the Atlanta Braves.
Yep.
Okay? Now, they were down for a couple of years, right? But I'm just looking at that year, all right? That year back in 2018, and you look at who was at the top. Let me just run through some of these real quick. Yankees, Padres, Phillies, Rays, Blue Jays, White Sox, Cardinals, Dodgers. That's in order from 1 to 10.
Right.
Your top farm systems. Who are the best teams in baseball, Bonta?
Those 10
I mean, those are pretty close to them, right? And so the Giants were 27th that year. That was when Farhan took over. Now, they've jumped up from 22 to 14. Some people have them currently somewhere between 9 and 11, right? So their argument would be, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, hey, we're waiting for all these guys to come up. Our guy, who is not equivalent to Steph Curry, but is very, very important, Buster Posey, he walked away. And I think that threw a huge monkey wrench into everything. So I'm trying to be patient. It's just hard when I'm watching a team that can't field, has no pitching whatsoever, and it just feels like there's 2 or 3 guys on the 25-man roster that everybody would want, and none of them are everyday players.
So Luciano's supposed to come up into this year, next year.
At some point, yes.
Kyle Harrison.
He got promoted to Double-A and has been dominating.
Luis Matos.
He's still young. He's probably a couple years away. Most of their best players, Bonta, are in high single A, which is really far away.
It's a long way away.
It's a far away.
Patrick Bailey, Hunter Bishop.
Yeah.
Where are they at?
Bishop's older. All these other guys are
Bishop's
like 20 or
24 years
21.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we don't know when they're going to come up.
I know.
And we don't know how they're going to produce.
No doubt.
And how are the fans going to get excited about this? Because there's a couple things happening here. And we'll cite Andrew Baggery's article in The Athletic in just a second. Thought it was very insightful.
Very thought-provoking. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And he basically said everything we've been saying all season long. But the way he framed it was just beautiful. How am I supposed to get excited about these prospects? Number one, I don't know who they are.
Totally fair.
And now fans are stopped. They're not going to the yard like they used to. I saw a lot of empty seats over the last week. Now, granted, it's the Cincinnati Reds. They're the worst team in baseball. Mm-hmm. They have no pitching. They come into Oracle Park and win 2 or 3. It is a weekend in San Francisco.
I know.
It was beautiful weather this weekend. Pride weekend. There's a lot going on. Yeah. But that never was an excuse for the Giants.
No. I'm not making excuses. I'm saying it should have been more bustling.
Yeah, it should have been more buzz.
In general, no downtown
doubt.
is what I was saying.
And it wasn't. So then I look at...
Is that a word? Bustling?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
anyway, I'm looking at the 2023 payroll and the 2024 payroll. So and I get it.
Yeah.
All these youngsters are going to come up at some point. So in 2023, they have $104 million committed to the payroll. In 2024, there's only $25 million committed to the big league roster. So $104 million, $25 million. Guys like Brandon Belt, they're coming off the books.
I've been hearing that for 3 years.
Well, they extended them last year. I get it. But, Crawford, 1 more year on the deal. Rodon, the player option for $22 million. He's definitely opted out. If you're Carlos Rodon and you're having the year that you're having, you're going to opt out and try to get a long-term deal.
Of course.
You're going to be turning 30.
Here's the thing, like the Giants, we don't give out, long multi-year deals to pitchers. Right. At some point, you're going to have to.
You're going to have to.
You're going to have to.
Why not?
You're just going to, and then you're going to realize, like, hey, the first 3 years are going to be good, and maybe year 4 or 5 might not be as good.
Now, Anthony DeSclafani's making $12 million over the next, after this year, he'll make 12 for the next 2 years. That doesn't look like a good contract.
No.
He can't get anybody out. There's no movement on the pitches. So my thing is, okay, we wait for these youngsters to get up. And then what? Are we still not going to spend money? When Farhan Zaidi said what he said on your podcast, Garlic Fries and Baseball Guys, where he said, we're not going to jam our roster up with big-time contracts. Does that mean you're not going to go out there and spend money? Does that mean that you're going to be very frugal? Does that mean that the big boys who become free agents, the Aaron Judges, the Shohei Ohtanis, are you just out on that? Are you out on giving $300 million contracts?
Well,
because I need an acre or something.
Well, and there's this misnomer that spending doesn't equate to winning. Now, you may not win a championship when you spend a lot of money, but B, can I run through the top payrolls in baseball just to give you an idea? Number 1, Dodgers. 2, Mets. 3, Yankees. 4, Philly. 5, Padres. Red Sox, White Sox, Braves. Like that is your top 8 spending teams.
Yep.
Are those not 8 of the top best teams in baseball?
They are. You got to spend money,
now,
man.
you might sprinkle in a raise here and there, and you're going to get teams that play better than their payroll. I'm not dismissing that, and it doesn't equate to automatic championships. No one's saying that. But the cost of doing business now, you have to spend money. Here's where I get sad if I'm a Giants fan. Not only has the payroll dropped, they are the 6th biggest drop-off from year to year in terms of payroll. 17% of the payroll has gone down. Not only that, the Padres and Dodgers are in the top 5 of spending and top 5 in farm ranking right now. So not only have they spent on the big league roster, it feels like they're doing a better job in the farm, reallocating and getting cheap, cost-effective players to come up. So if I'm a Giants fan, which I am, I'm a diehard Giants fan, I'm excited for our young guys. But I sit here and I look and I go, how are the Padres and the Dodgers have a higher ranking? The rankings are whatever. They're subjective. But how are they still, they're spending, and they're in the top 5, and they have a better farm ranking? That's where I'm like, wow, what's going on?
Well, and it's also the handling of the farm. Elliot Ramos.
Do
you think the Giants have handled his situation well? He's been up, he's down.
What is the plan?
He's down. What are you committed to? Do you want to see him get full-time at-bats? Do you not want to see him get full-time at-bats? Well, I don't know the plan.
Well, let's just use, and you're talking about...
The plan is murky.
Let's talk about jamming up the roster. You move off Duggar, fine. Duggar, whatever. Redundant player. I get it. We all like Anthony Slater. If Ramos is somebody you covet and someone you really like, what's Slater doing?
Yeah.
He missed playing balls left and right.
Yeah,
he was awesome last year with the pinch hits. Hit a cut, man. Go back on a ball. If this team is about the future, right, and you could still compete, then why not give Ramos 2 weeks up? You've given him a couple at-bats. You send him back down. No, he's not tearing the cover off the ball. He's got to earn it. At some level, I get he's got to earn it.
Now,
he had a pretty good spring.
When you talked to Farhan, did you ask him what the plan was? Did you ask him...
I didn't have time to ask him because I wanted to say, what exactly are you trying to accomplish with Ramos? Is it he needs to come up and in his small amount of time prove something to us? Is it we needed him to fill a roster spot for a couple of days? Because that's what it felt like.
Well, I'm looking
or are they showcasing him, Bonta?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe showcasing him.
They don't want to expose him like they have Bart, and then now he depreciates his value. See, that's the part I don't understand.
So that's a problem then. Get him. My philosophy is just get him out your system. He's not good. He's not good. He can't be in my organization.
Look at Bart.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the value on Bart right now?
There's no value.
Internally and externally.
Well, Duggar gets flipped for Willie Calhoun, who, of course, was drafted by the L.A. Dodgers. He went to Texas. I think he was in a Yu Darvish deal. Was it the Yu Darvish deal? Yeah, it was a Yu Darvish deal back in the day. Where he
Loveman's so excited back there.
Yeah, he is. He is excited. So Willie Calhoun comes to the Giants, and you see his numbers. His numbers were pathetic.
Well, it did.
Pathetic. I don't even want to get to Willie Calhoun.
The hard part for me when I bring up the prospects, and I get it, I'm like a prospects are suspects until proven otherwise guy. That's kind of my theory on prospects. But here's the part
I'm trade prospects for proven talent all day long.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But the reality is, they do have a lot of good prospects, but they're all in high single A.
Yeah.
All they're really, really, really good.
But see, we thought Joey Bart was a good prospect.
I know.
We thought Joey Bart was a really good prospect. And so that's why when I put stuff out there hey, go trade all in for Soto, because I'm looking at the division. And now the Giants are 6.5 back of the Dodgers. They're 4.5 back of the Padres. The Braves are hot right now, right? The Braves are winning games left and right. The Mets, they're still there 5 up on the Atlanta Braves. The Brewers and Cardinals are going through a classic battle in the NL Central. And all of a sudden the Brewers, they got some mojo, right? They're starting to get rolling here. It feels like it's up for grabs for me, the National League. It feels like it feels like you get one more pitcher, one more hitter, it's up for grabs. But where are the Giants? Where are they at? When I look at those top 6 teams, the Mets, the Braves, the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and the Padres, I'm saying to myself, they can't compete with that. They can't compete with that. Now, are these prospects, how far are they away? Because if they're 2 years away, I'm still calling the Nationals saying, what can I do to go get Juan Soto? Because here's the deal. With the $104 million committed to the payroll next season, it's laughable, but not even say that the Giants are going to give Aaron Judge a blank check. He could get that blank check and say, I'm not playing there. Who's batting behind me? Darren Ruff? Some guy you're going to pick from the KBO next year? Like, what is Farhan's plan? Because you got to have, because you name all those teams, right? Mm-hmm. All those teams with the hot top payroll.
And great farm systems.
Great farm systems.
Yeah.
But the difference is they got dudes.
Yes.
They got dudes.
Yes.
You look at the Padres, Tatis Jr. and Machado's there.
Yeah. And Tatis was a trade. The Brewers. James Shields.
They tried to get Yelich back rolling, but they got pitchers. Yeah. They got legit pitchers. The Cardinals, they got dudes. The Braves, the Mets, they got dudes. The Yankees, they got dudes. Who's the Giants' dudes? Jock Peterson, a guy you signed for $6 million, who you're going to platoon, who you're going to say, in the 6th inning, there's a lefty coming in. Let's pitch in for Jock Peterson. He's my best hitter.
So they've got 2 guys right now in terms of on their current roster. They've got Doval and Webb. And that's it. And I just think, I think it's tough for me to make an argument for others. Now, I like the Estrada conversation. I don't think he's the long-term solution. He's had a fine year, though. Luis Gonzalez, before the back injury, was having a nice little run. He was having a fine year. But you're not building a roster around those guys. Mike Yastrzemski, he's an above-average baseball player. But right now, there's only 2 guys that have a plus WAR. That's Rodon and Webb on the active roster.
That's not good.
The other guy, in terms of everyday players,
not a WAR guy.
I'm not a WAR guy either, but I think it's a good measuring stick. Doesn't it tell you, there's only 2 guys with a plus WAR?
Well, just watch the game. There's 2 guys that's worth the damn.
But if you're going to tell me analytics is how we're going to judge everything, then I would say to you, you've banked on wrong analytics, or the analytics aren't proving you to be the smarter team this year. Last year, everything was working. This year, it's been a grind.
Well, Andrew Bagley in The Athletic, he had some great lines here. The Giants are averaging about just shy of 31,000 a night, which is 11th in the major leagues when it comes to attendance. But it's a dip from 33.4 they averaged in the pre-pandemic 2019 season. And I get the pandemic. A lot of people are hurting for cash, stuff to get families out there for the games or whatnot. But their average crowd size slipped every year from 2015 to 2019.
Which is undeniable.
It's undeniable. And Bagley mentioned this. Their season ticket base has eroded from almost 30,000 in 2017 to barely half that number now. They've lost over 15,000 of their season ticket base. That's insane. That to me is crazy.
But wouldn't you all agreed?
That's crazy.
But remember when the 49ers had a 30-year wait on season tickets, and then they went through a period of not winning.
No doubt.
And that season ticket wait list evaporated, and you could walk up and get candlestick seats for the whole season for like $35 a ticket.
No doubt.
You know
what
I mean? It does happen in sports. This is not exclusive to the Giants, but I do think it's a good. I think it's a good measuring stick as to where they are in relevance amongst the big 3. Niners, Warriors, Giants. Right now, to me, the Giants, in terms of market share, care, star power, whatever metric you want to choose,
about this all year.
They're the bottom 3rd. Wouldn't you agree?
I've been talking about this all year.
And I'm not trying to rip them. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm saying these prospects are coming. I don't know when, but they are coming.
But we look at the prospects of the Warriors. Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman, and now Poole. We've been able to wrap our arms around them and actually see them.
Agreed.
I don't know what Luciano's doing.
Basketball's just set up so different.
It's set up so different. But nobody's watching the Eugene Emeralds.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'll tell you this. When I see Harrison, who's the left-handed prized possession that they have, he's their top pitching prospect. Now he's jumped all the way to number 2 on most people's prospect boards. De La Salle kid, local, 6'2", throws a fastball slider, looks like Rodon, 20 years old. He could be their next dude. You know what I mean? Like centerpiece type dude. Him and Webb for the next, 5, 6, 7 years. it's exciting. So when I see his highlights coming across Twitter, it's really exciting. But I want to see him, and it's hard because that's not how baseball's set up. Kaminga gets 5-10 minutes in a run. I don't get this kid to come into a game and blow someone away for a couple innings. He's buried.
And highlights we don't know about these leagues.
No, totally fair. Who's he going up
Pacific
against?
Coast League,
I get that.
Friendly Park, and
but he's a
numbers
local kid, so you get excited, right?
A little bit.
De La Salle?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm excited for him. I'm really excited. But I feel like a nerd bringing up some prospect no one's ever heard of.
Also, Bagley brought up the entertainment.
Bring that up on the other side.
Because that was something that hit home.
I want to talk
for
about
me.
that, yeah.
That hit home for me. So that's coming up. We'll also get the Mike in Portland. He wants to talk about the Giants' plan moving forward here on the Morning Rush. We'll get to you on the other side. That will be brought to you by News Nation.